Now, let's talk about culture shock and emotional adjustment. Culture shock is basically an emotional or psychological reaction that we get when we move to a new and unfamiliar environment. It's absolutely normal. It's mainly because we're not used to the place, it's new, we don't know a lot about the place. That's why we have the shock. And there are different stages when we move from Nigeria or wherever you move from to the UK. You have the honeymoon or the excitement phase. Oh, we're so excited. We take lots of pictures. We send the pictures back home. We upload on social media. We do all of these things. We're so excited. And how long this phase lasts is somewhat dependent on how prepared we were before coming here. How prepared we were spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially will determine how long the excitement phase lasts. If we were not prepared at all, or we were not very prepared, the person would very quickly go into the second stage, which is the frustration phase, where reality begins to set in. They begin to get overwhelmed, the language barrier, bureaucracy, the social norms, the differences in the way things are done. They get irritated, they get homesick because reality has set in. Now, the time that the person spends in the frustration phase is significantly shortened by an understanding of their why. So when, the reality has set in, the time you spend in that phase, you cycle back to why did I come here? When I understand why I came here, then I quickly get out of the frustration phase into the adjustment phase, where I am consciously open and I'm consciously making an effort to learn new things, to close the knowledge gap. And the speed of this phase or this stage is dependent on how much time, how much investment I put into getting knowledge. I'll give us an example. So when I moved here to study, I think I was prepared maybe financially, maybe spiritually, physically, mentally, but I was not prepared academically. I didn't understand the educational system. I didn't understand the differences. I didn't understand anything about the school system. All I knew was I was coming to study. And I started, of course, the excitement phase. You go to schools, you stand behind the school board, you take pictures and all of that. And then I went to the first lecture and the second lecture. And in the first week, I felt like my head was spinning constantly. And I constantly asked myself, who sent me? Why am I doing this? It felt so irritating, so frustrating. I had quickly gone into the frustration phase. And then I had to contact some of my senior colleagues that I knew were studying in the same school, and I spoke to them. And they said, you have to cover the gap. So there's a knowledge gap from where you're coming from to where you are now. And in this adjustment stage, you have to cover that knowledge gap. You have to put in the effort to understand what you don't know, go back to the basic study. So I did all of that. I had to put in the extra time to study, to learn the things that I should have learned in my undergraduate that I didn't learn the things that I should have known that I don't know, all of that. I had to close that knowledge gap. Then I gradually started going into the adaptation phase, where I started gaining confidence. I could speak in class, I could answer questions. I started feeling like I was a part of this place. So the adjustment phase, the work has to be done before you go into the adaptation phase. So dealing with culture shock, like we said, it's just because you're new in the environment. You have to gain confidence by knowledge. Read books on life in the UK. There's an app and there are different books on UK history, life in the UK. Watch movies about British history. There's the Crown series, there's Elizabeth, there's so many movies. Read books, watch movies to understand the environment that you are. Stay connected to your roots, of course, but take active steps to explore the local culture. How do they speak? What do they say? What do they eat? How do they dress? Why do they do these things? Then you have to reframe the experience. Don't look at it as, oh, it's a culture shock. Oh, I'm in a phase of culture shock. I'm in a frustration phase. I'm in this. See it as an opportunity. Oh, it's a new place. I have to learn these new things. I have to explore. Get excited at the knowledge that you are going to get by knowing all of these things. Yeah. And another activity, if we take some time and think about what is one step you would take today in your adjustment into the new country, into the new culture. What is it that you would do? Would you read something about the history? Would you read something about the government? What is that one step that you would take? So let's talk about understanding and adapting to life in the UK. And I just want to say it begins with a mindset. This was the foundation that God taught me and my husband when we came to this country newly. It begins with a mindset. You have to genuinely love the country and wish her well. The Bible says in Psalm 122 verse 6, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. You cannot prosper in a place you don't love. It is not possible, and we cannot emphasize this enough. Love creates a sense of belonging and a sense of commitment. Sometimes I hear some people say, oh, this una country, this una UK. If it's not yours, if you're not part of it, you cannot prosper there. And you cannot pray for the country if you don't love the country. If you stand outside and look into the country as someone else's and you just judge or say whatever it is about the country, you continue to get an outsider's benefit. You will never really prosper in the country. The Bible also says in Jeremiah 29 verse 7, also seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. That just says it all. Pray for the country. Pray for the decision makers. Pray for the government. Pray for the monarchy. Pray for the country. Pray that the country prospers. Don't judge why they're making this decision. Their economy will just crash. Why are they doing this? Everything will go down. You are inside it. And as long as you want to remain inside it, you have to pray. You have to love the country. You have to wish her well. That is the foundation of prospering. That's the foundation of adapting to life in the UK. So we'll talk about some practical steps. Like we said, get informed. Get information, and get information from authentic sources, not a screenshot of something that is flying around WhatsApp, not something someone said that someone said that someone said. Every information you hear from someone, always go to, if it's a government regulation, go to the government website and read it for yourself. Don't say, oh, they said this, they say that. I know that we like word of mouth information a lot, but please get information from authentic sources so that you have a personal understanding of what it says, because sometimes people can misunderstand things, misread things and all of that. Read it for yourself, understand it for yourself. And if someone sends you or says something to you, you say, can you send me the link for that? Assuming it's not a government information, for example, can you send me the link for that? Or can you send me the information, the document for that, so I can read it? Read it for yourself. Yeah. And make effort to understand the tradition. Sometimes maybe in November we see people wearing red bobby pins, and I was like, what is this? Why is there a red thing? And I had to Google online. It's the Remembrance Day. So things like that. We don't just, look at it and say, can't be bothered. You need to understand these things. Understand regional differences How is London different from Scotland? How is the north different from the south, apart from the weather? How do the people in these places behave? How is Northern Ireland different from Wales? How is it different from England? How is it different from Scotland? How is the UK different from England, different from Britain? All of these things. Understand regional differences. Follow the news. Understand the parliament. Understand politics, the social issues. These things affect us. We cannot take a back seat. We cannot say, oh, they will do whatever they want to do. No. Understand the system. How does information go from the people that voted those in parliament to the parliament? How are these decisions made? You have to get this information. Travel. And I know that people are going to say, oh, you have to eat first before you do this. But you have museums in the city where you live, in the town where you live. You have almost every town has a museum, has a historical site. They have something that tells about the history of the place that they are living. Travel, visit these places, know about them, read about them, ask questions. Yeah, learn the everyday etiquette. Practice it. Don't just learn it and say, oh, they like to say please, they like to say thank you, they like to say sorry. You have to practice it. You're in the land. If the way of life is saying yes please, no thank you, and say thank you to the bus driver, thank you to the person that served you, or saying I'm sorry about that, just learn how it is done and practice it. You know what I'm saying, and then you're just trying to make fun or something like that. Actually practice it. Make it a part of your life. Get involved in community. Volunteer. Register with the Electoral Commission. Vote. When they say it's time to vote, understand the parties. What are they saying they will give to you? What are they saying they will do? Register to vote and vote. Volunteer with local charities. You have so many charity shops. You have so many charities, hospital charities for different causes. There has to be one that appeals to you. Be a part of it. Contribute. If you live in a community where they have events, find out a way that you can participate. If you're a student, there will be student representatives. There will be student union. Get involved in these things. It gives you a sense of belonging and makes you understand at a deeper level what is going on in your environment. And our activity is to plan a trip to the museum in your city this month. Please plan that trip. There is a historical site, something in your city. Plan a trip today. Just take 1 hour. Go there, walk around, read things, and get to know things.